Professor Dr. Angelika Mihajlovic will be on the chair.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, welcome.
Okay.
Dr. Mihajlovic, Osman Tabasaran is absent right now. You can continue with your press. Can you continue, please?
You think that first presenter is not here?
Yes, he is absent right now.
Okay.
Continue.
Could you give me to share the screen with Power Presentation?
Okay. You can share your screen right now.
Now I'm just opening. Okay. Did you see it?
No, I cannot see it.
No. What's happening? Did you put the share screen?
No, we cannot see your screen right now.
Did you put the share screen because you're managing the you have to allow me to come?
Yes, I allowed you, but you can share screen right now.
You would like me to continue to talk and to have presentation just for? Okay. I'm talking today about circular economy that concerning our experience in Serbia as the country, candidate country to EU membership and country in transition, developing country, that it is really some kind of greenwashing or circular economy washing is going on, and this famous nice word is putting everywhere, sometimes and very often without the proper meaning. The title of our research is Circular Economy Goes Beyond Waste Management. Definition and understanding of circular economy concept is very important. There are at least more than 100 possible definitions of circular economy and many different understandings of concept. This is indicated by the rapid growth of peer-reviewed articles of the circular economy. Advanced proposals go beyond 4R to framework to 9R framework. And in addition, many consultancy reports have been published. It should be noted that this waste management is only one among action areas. Just to mention that circular economy action areas are waste management, but also production, consumption, secondary raw materials, innovation, investigation, and monitoring. Priority sectors are plastic, food waste, critical raw materials, construction and demolition, biomass, bio-based production. Some enablers are innovative business models, eco-design, and the others, and key drivers are legislation.
Dr. Mihajlovic, you don't share your screen right now.
I don't share my screen? I don't know.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I would like.
Yes, you can share your screen. I allowed you.
Okay. But now I'm here. You see it?
No, we cannot.
Share screen. You see it? You should see it now?
I will check. Wait a minute. No, we cannot see it.
I don't know what's happening. I participated at Sunday of this checking technical possibilities, and I didn't have any problem. But I will continue with presentation. That we underlined that the circular economy concept, and you have my PowerPoint presentation in the file of a conference that you already have my PowerPoint presentation. The circular economy is a concept and a process. It is a long-term undertaking that benefits future generation, economic growth with environmental quality and social equity. At global level, we have sustainable development goals, and in that respect, circular economy is most close to the Sustainable Development Goal 12, sustainable consumption and production. At European Union level, we have in 2015 circular economy package, in 2020 this year new circular economy action plan, and a lot of things going on. But what we are going at the country level? At the country level, we stuck at the connecting circular and economy only with the waste management. And in practice, in our country, we plan to change our legislation only in the waste management sector until now, because it is considered that circular economy is
Dr. Mihajlovic, excuse me, but I will share your PowerPoint slide right now.
okay.
Do you see it? Do you see your presentation?
Yes, I see it. You are now, and now I am at the slide. I am at the slide where I'm just to see where I am. I am at the slide. I'm at the slide 7.
7, okay.
Okay. Thank you for helping me.
Not at all.
At the country in transition level, our Serbian case, as the UN member state and EU membership candidate, Serbia is committed to the circular economy concept.
Analyzed.
But you have my presentation with my voice. Would you like me to not to talk, to put on my voice also?
Candidate country for EU membership. As a candidate country to EU membership, Serbia is already committed to the circular economy concept.
What is the problem now?
You can continue, Dr. Mihajlovic.
Okay. Mihajlov, I'm Mihajlov without each. I know that a lot of people from Serbia is with each, but I'm Mihajlov.
Okay.
And that in Serbia, we did mapping the state of art circular economy in Serbia. This is really interesting research, and the current obstacle in Serbia is when talking about circular economy, majority is considering only waste management. Country plans to refer to the circular economy principles in updated waste management strategy. Slide 8. But circular economy goes beyond waste management. Elements of circular economy is what I already mentioned. With waste management, we have to think about production and consumption with secondary raw materials and competitiveness and innovation. What we face as a problem, because governance of circular economy is complex, and everything what is going beyond Minister for Environment is difficult to achieve. And maybe this is the reason, because we stick with the waste management and circular economy, and having the problem with this multi-sectoral functioning of each strategy, including the circular economy in practice. And what we, in addition, did, this is the slide 9. In addition, we include participant citizen science approach as indicator of interest, because we just would like to know how, without research, with our approach, without raising the awareness on issue, we contribute to the media. And this is, you could see the chart where you see the number of articles having the word circular economy in the written media in Serbia. You could see that in 2019, and now we still don't have a data for 2020, in 2019, this became in Serbia a very fashionable word. And to point out again, but we didn't go, is that with or without proper meaning, because in a lot of cases, this is not taken with the proper meaning. And in the full paper, you could see that our arguments, why we propose the title of this paper, that circular economy goes beyond the waste, because it is not enough to regulate, to make legislation in waste management. A lot of other issues have to be done to cover legislatively circular economy. And at the end, I will use opportunities. This is the last slide 10 to introduce the authors. My name is Angelka Mihajlov, and I am Environmental Ambassador for Sustainable Development, United Nations expert, consultant and science, full professor at the Faculty of Technical Science at University of Novi Sad. I was a minister for the protection of natural resources and environment in the government of Serbia from 2002 to 2004, and member of this conference scientific committee, and I was the keynote speaker at the conference in 2014. My colleagues contributed to researcher Alexandra Mladenovic. She has a degree in biology, and Filip Jovanovic, he has a Master of Science in Economy. And this research is supported to EU-funded regional project and Serbian Ministry of Environmental Protection. Hopefully, they are going to hear us, they are going to listen us, not just to hear us. Thank you very much. I did finish. Meaning I don't know what's going on. Probably we have another presentation, but I'm not in position to share your presentations. According the schedule, now we have the third presentation, but we don't have our host of the symposia, and they couldn't, and I cannot do anything except to talk to you. Our next paper should be the use of decision support system for evaluating municipal solid waste management options by Öztaş as the first author, and he received his bachelor and master degree in environmental from Yildiz Technical University and Gapşin Technical University, respectively.
Could you, sorry, my chairman, could you please, little bit, I need some little bit time because of my internet connection, few minutes, could you please wait or just skip to another one? Because I have to solve this connection problem first.
Yes, I'm already introducing the next paper, but what...
This is mine. You are introducing my paper.
Okay,
this
good.
Is mine. Yes,
Good,
sorry.
Good.
Just few minutes I need, or just you can skip the other one.
That means that we are turning now to the fourth paper.
Yes, just later I will be ready because some connection problem occur and I have to solve it. And later again I'm going to connect.
Now we have the fourth paper, is that agricultural waste inventory of the regional
Dr. Mihajlov,
you are taking over. Thank you. Because we cannot do too much without technical support. Hello. Our fourth author is Sertgümeç.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. She is at Municipal Technical University Environmental Engineering Department, and I will be glad to give you opportunity to present your paper, but I cannot help you anything about technical issues.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I share my screen right now?
I don't know. I don't know because I had.
Okay. I'm sharing my
Mr.
screen.
Sertgümeç, you can share your screen.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we could. Thank you. Good.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to Professor Mihajlov for introducing me to you, and thank you for attending this presentation. Today we are going to talk a lot of important things, especially about the agricultural sector and the agricultural activities for our country, Turkey. And thank you again. So I'm going to present the agricultural waste inventory on the regional basis in Turkey, valuation of agricultural waste with zero waste concept in the scope of circular economy. Here is our content. I will start with the introduction and methodology part, then I will continue my presentation with results and discussion and conclusion parts of our presentation. And I wanted to share, first of all, our keywords of our study at the beginning, because, as you know, they can give the idea basically for our study, and they are agro-wastes, anaerobic digestion, bioenergy, circular economy, waste to energy, and zero waste. So before I move on to my presentation, I want to talk about a little bit our problem statement, because, as you know, it is too important, because they are actually giving the idea for our study. So the first one is important one, the agricultural activities, because all around the world, agricultural activities are taking an important role, and they are actually bringing a large amount of agricultural residues with them. So as long as these residues are not valued, they can consider it as a significant economic loss. We can call them economic loss, actually. And also, we know that these agricultural residues and wastes can be problematic for farmers in different ways, which I'm going to talk more about in result parts. And another important issue in here is the energy issue. As you know, we are all looking for renewable energy sources right now all around the world, because we know that we have resource shortage. So actually, we are still using fossil resources, and this fossil resources usage is bringing greenhouse gas emissions with them. That's why actually we are, as humans, causing environmental damage. And so let's start with the introduction part. As I mentioned before, agricultural is taking an important role in all human life, because we are basically providing the food needs for nutrition. And this sector has a very important place on a global scale. And almost 2/3 of the world population is based on this agricultural production. So what about our country is, this agricultural sector has significant role in economic and social development, and it actually contributes to the national income and employment. And also we know that Turkey is one of the developing countries, and that's why it is important point. The agricultural sector in our country actually meets the need for raw materials in the industry, and it is also indispensable in terms of exports, because it also contributes to exports directly or indirectly. So, as I mentioned before, agricultural activities bring products and they have direct economic value, but also we have non-consumption, I mean unused parts, we call them residues, and they are economic loss. As you see in this image, for example, we have a cotton farm and we can take the direct economic value from the cottons. We are all using these products in our daily lives. But also we have residue part, but that is an economic loss, but actually it's not. we are going to talk about this stuff. So another important definition in here is agro-waste. It includes waste from farms, poultry houses, slaughterhouses, harvest waste, manure. But in this paper, we basically talked about the residual ones, because actually they are bringing large amount of wastes. And actually, we are not going to talk about the waste disposal, but we are going to talk about the management, because it is important, and we are actually trying to focus on the circular economy in here, not like linear economy. For example, in this figure, you can see the circular economy chain according to the circular economy model. I took this from the Republic of Turkey, Ministry of Environment and Urbanization as a source. So we have another important point. We are actually growing rapidly. Our population is, of course, growing, increasing rapidly in all around the world, and also in our country, in Turkey. And that actually brings energy need with it. And that's why actually we are looking for renewable energy sources. For our country, we have a target. We are trying to increase the, we are trying to increase the share of renewable energy sources used in our country to averagely 30% in total by 2023. And also another important point is activity in the fertilizer sector, and we know that it is also increasing every year. But we know that we are producing fertilizers in Turkey, but consumption is also very intense. So those needs are tried to be met by means of imports in Turkey, and less than just about 10% of this production is also exported, which is another important point. So with this approach, basically, we are trying to focus on the recovery of these residues by anaerobic digestion system to create biogas and energy. And not only energy is obtained, of course, by production biogas from these agricultural wastes, but also Turkey can contribute to the need of fertilizers with digestate resulting from the process, because it is nutrient-rich material. So in the methodology part, first of all, what we have done is the agricultural products causing the most agricultural waste generation were identified. And we have 7 different regions in Turkey. We have done this for all 7 different regions, firstly. And then, secondly, an inventory of agricultural waste on a regional basis, again, has been established for our country. And we have done some surveys to the farmers, and we have asked them some questions about their problems. And in the 4th stage, detailed research has been done on the current fate of agricultural wastes. What I mean in here is what they are doing actually with this residue parts. And also fertilizer sector of Turkey is examined in detail. So for the results and discussion part, I can say that Turkey shows a big density of agricultural activity and a high amount of agricultural waste is produced, of course. For example, these numbers are too important because crop production is really high in Turkey. It is averagely 184.6 million. We took this data from the Biomass Energy Potential Atlas in our country. And also the residue generated from this side is nearly 62.2 million, and which is also another important data. So these residues may come from wheat, corn cob, nut, legumes, tobacco, sugar beet, olive. We have lots of agricultural residues actually coming from different products. So you can see in this figure, as a result, production and waste amounts of the first 3 products that cause the most waste in Turkey for 7 regions actually. And you can see again in this image, the first ones nearly for all regions wheat, and except Aegean region. And you can see again the product is higher for tomato in this region, but we still have more waste coming from the wheat for this region again. So you can see another important part as for Black Sea region, Mediterranean or other regions, For the wheat I'm talking about, the production and the waste amounts are nearly similar. You can see this. So this table and this figure in this slide are actually the summarizing figures and table for the slide before. You can see the total waste for main three products in the unit of tons per year. And as you can see in this figure, the central Anatolia region in Turkey has the highest amount of residues. And after this, southeastern Anatolia region is coming, and then Marmara region. And we have the lowest amount of agricultural residues are coming from the eastern Anatolia region. So what about the survey? We have asked two different questions to three farmers. They are working in special facilities, important facilities, and we want them to rate the problems actually at the beginning of the survey. They gave basically 8 and 9 points to their problems, and as you see, they are really important. And we asked them firstly, what kind of problems do you have? And the secondly, what do you do to the residues? I mean, what are their fate? So the answers are so similar for different regions. For example, for question 1, they gave basically the answers as high amount of residues, no enough space to stack in homogeneous soil. For example, for Black Sea, excess moisture retention of soil. Because we know that in Black Sea we have high amount of rain. And for answer 2, they basically gave the answers similar as bale making, burning, animal feed, use of kindling. For example, again for Black Sea, they generally say use as fuel in the stove for nutshells, for example. And for the consumption of fertilizers, Turkey may show, of course, a little change from year to year in fertilizer consumption because we have 4 different seasons in our country and climatic conditions can change product range. But generally, we have annual average 5 to 6 million tons consumption of fertilizers. And of course, sources of raw materials for chemical fertilizers are not available in Turkey. That's why we are actually a foreign dependent country, about 90% in this chemical fertilizer sector. And their costs are important point also, and they are actually $170 to $370 per ton. So to conclude, providing agricultural waste management for each region with biogas plants to be built on a regional basis has been proposed in this paper. And we can convert the agricultural residues to energy form, to useful form in this way. And electric vehicles can be used also during this collection and transportation. So we can lower the carbon footprint and noise level, and we can cause less harm to the environment in this way. So also we have taught this preventing by storing agricultural waste in sufficiently ventilated and air-conditioned storage areas can be prepared according to the amount of waste. And the last slide is about the fertilizer stuff, because with the use of digestate as fertilizer on farmland, it could be saving money paid to fertilizer in Turkey, which is another important point, because we are actually paying so much money to fertilizers. We can cover this money with the digestate, which is a nutrient-rich material. So these are my references, and I am again, thank you for listening me and attending this presentation. If you have any questions, I can answer.
Thank you very much, Mrs. I have to read the last name, Sertgümeç. And it is very interesting to have a presentation about agriculture waste and residues. And thank you very much again. Now I am coming back to our third presentation. Hopefully, Serpil Öztaş is ready to present. Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
You have another last name on your screen.
Serpil Öztaş. Yes.
And I have just here with one last name, and she's a PhD student and received her bachelor and master degrees in environmental from Yildiz Technical University and Gebze Technical University. Please take a floor.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry, okay. Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Could anybody hear me? And Chairman, could you hear me?
I think everybody is hearing you.
Okay, okay.
Nobody didn't raise the...
Okay. Okay, you introduced me, and yes, I would like to introduce myself briefly also. My name is Serpil Öztaş. I'm a Master of Environmental Engineering and writing my doctoral thesis about waste management planning with the support of ACA and AHP programs, and with my advisor, Professor Dr. Nihal Bektaş. And now I'm going to talk about the use of decision support system for evaluating municipal solid waste management options with a case study. In my presentation content, I'm going to give some brief information about decision support system and analytical hierarchy system. And also there will be a case study which we used AHP. And now decision support system is a system which is a problem-solving activity considered to result in a satisfactory solution by choosing the most suitable solution among others. Also, it can be defined as making the selection process after comparing different alternatives for the subject to be decided. In short, it's choose from a versatile event. And decision analysis stage in here, in this figure, we see that there are some steps, of course. And firstly, we have to identify the goal, the main problem. And according to main problem, we have to make determine the evaluation criteria. And afterwards, what we want to do, and at the end, and what the result we want to reach, identify the alternatives. And collect information, and also in collecting information, we make the calculation and weighting the evidence, and lastly, evaluating the result are stages. And decision analysis method is a general topic, and under it there are three main methods: single purpose decision making, decision support system, and multi-criteria decision making. And multi-criteria decision making is a program which is approach was initially used in the 1970s, actually first start, and with the directional action research and decision theory, later apply in economics and financial science, and afterwards in engineering fields. And now we see the analytical hierarchy process under the multi-criteria decision making, which is I'm going to talk about later, our main topic. And here we see a figure that analytical hierarchy process, main figure of our process, because as I mentioned in the previous slides, that we have firstly, we have to determine the goal, and it is to start for the model. We need a problem, of course, and afterwards our criteria part. And according to criteria, actually not according to criteria, according to our conditions, of course, we have to define the alternatives. And another yes, as we just directly come to our case study, it will be better to explain analytical hierarchy with the case study. In this section, I'm going to give information about how we use the AHP in our case study. This study aims to select the ideal waste management system for Gebze district. Gebze is located in the middle of the dense industrial area of the Marmara region. You can see from the map. And out of 3 scenarios determined by considering the waste composition of Gebze municipality, the most appropriate waste management scenario was determined using the analytical hierarchy process by evaluating the economic, environmental, and social impacts. And here we see the numbers, and the waste generation in this first table, waste generation indicated in this table is 115,000 ton per year for a population of the 350,000 people, and that's approximately 1 kilogram per person per day. And after this number, we came to the waste fraction, and which is among the Gebze municipality. And according to waste fraction, we determined some scenarios. Basically, we decided to make 3 scenarios to show, to make the simplify the modeling. And in the first scenario, S1, we can see the current position, current application, and with 94%, they are sending the waste to disposal, and only 6% of the waste sending recycling. And for 2 and 3, we determined according to waste fraction. So we talked about if we send only 40% to disposal and 20% to recycling and 40% to composting. And for the scenario 3, and we also decided to send again 40% to disposal and 20% to recycling and 40% to incineration. And now here we define the criteria. In here, in the left side, we see our 3 main criteria. According to sustainability, actually, our 3 main basic there should be the, as according to sustainability, sorry, I feel quite excited, and environmentally and costly and social aspect should be give importance. And under this, we also determine some sub-criteria: air, water, solution, and human health, and according to also cost, investment cost, operation cost, and for the social aspect, social awareness and work safety. We give this figure like in the left, but for the AHP, we also can give this figure like in the right side. And now we came to our result and discussion part. And the part of this stage was the data and modeling part of the work. At this stage, we move on the calculation section. The evaluation was made by 6 waste management experts from academic and public institution. On the left is the evaluation chart with the range from 1 to 9. Expert prioritize each criterion with the other with the matrix method. The average of these evaluations was processed in Excel sheet, and the table on the right was created. This table is preserved for use in the calculation before the final stage. And here we make the calculation with the scenarios. And the scenarios evaluated separately by experts according to the preference table in scale by considering each criterion. The metrics of the evaluation are included in this table. After the metrics are created, it's checked whether the compliance ratio value is below 0.1, ensure data consistency. Analysis calculations show that all evaluation results are below 0.1. These values indicate that they are displayed below each metrics table. And now main metrics are AHP metrics. After all metrics and verification are completed, the next step is to create the main AHP metrics, in which weight column of the criteria and weight columns in the scenario matrix are evaluated together. Table 6, this table leads to table prior to the final table, where the evaluation was concluded. Here, weighting values of criteria and scenarios are multiplied. The multiply values are collected along the row in the table, and in this way, final evaluation table form. The weight values in this table are of the C values in the normalization table among themselves. It's placed on the horizontal plane using the priority vector, which is called W values. This table completed step by step by using the W priority vector data. In the normalization table, with the cell corresponding to the C values of scenarios S1 through S3. The final part, the result, and as shown in the table and also in the pie chart, S2, our scenario 2 means 40% to disposal, 20% to recycle, and 40% to composting, is the ideal one compared to other scenarios. And it seems that the current scenario 1 is not appropriate. According to this result, actually we cannot say that composting is always better than incineration. It's a kind of modeling that depends on what the desired criteria is and where desire to reach at the end. You have all these conditions and at hand and make the assessment. And consequently, by adding more alternatives and varieties, the result will be more realistic. And if the query is done by more experts, a better solution can be reached. So what you have and what you want to do and to whom you're asking for evaluation are the important parameters. There is no one result in this modeling, but the result is the most ideal in your circumstance. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me. And sorry for my excited presentation.
No, thank you very much.
It's very quickly. I made it very quickly.
It's very interesting, and really this kind of different approaches to the problem is something that is really benefiting your research. Now I'm going to the last paper, to Cristia Mediana. I see her somewhere here. And this is...
Yes, I'm here.
And I have to tell you, this is one of the most interesting CV what I saw, but please introduce yourself, and your paper is Factor Influencing Community Participation in Waste Reduction Through Waste Bank. Okay.
Yes,
please take the floor. Interesting title, and please introduce yourself, because I couldn't catch what you did in Germany, what you did in Austria, what you're covering a larger region of our globe. Please take the floor.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Mihajlov. My name is Cristia Mediana. I'm from Indonesia, and now I'm working in Brawijaya University. I have my PhD in Technical University of Graz, Austria, and before I finished also my master degree in Köln University. So in this question, I will share about the result or last research. Let me share the screen. So can you see the slide?
Yes. Yes. Is everybody?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So this is about the research that we want to explore about the factors influencing the community participation to reduce the waste. But actually, it is through waste bank. So the definition maybe is not so common in European countries because it is the ideal model which is introduced in some developing countries, including Indonesia. So I may introduce also my colleague from Japan, it is Tomo Osagito. He has also contributed to this research, and also my colleagues from the same university, Septiana Haryani. So this is the outline for the presentation. First, I will explain about the background of the situation, and then come to the method, how we collect the data and how we analyze the data, and then come the result about the characteristic of the waste bank, the scheme, how to operate the waste bank, and also the household characteristic, because we use the household as a sample, and then we run statistic for putting the data to the logistic regression analysis. So at the end, we will find out the model for community participation. It is model, and leading to the calculation for probability, how much percentage of the people of the community in the area of study to involve in waste reduction through waste management. So the background for the research, first we want to give a perspective from the national level that we have currently two related law, related waste law. The first is the national target on waste sector by 2030, which is 70% for waste handling, and the rest is for reuse, recycling, and recovery. The percentage has been determined by the government because the government cannot attain the 100% waste handling. So that's why in many cities in Indonesia, we involve also waste informal sector, including the waste bank. So the existence of waste bank has been also supported by waste law in 2008, that the waste reduction through waste bank is much supported by the government. And in regional level in province of East Java, where the location of the village, the total reduction of the municipal waste is only 7.7830%. It is far below the target. So this is the opportunity for the waste bank to contribute, because by involving the community to reduce the waste and then bring to the waste bank, then they can support to achieve the 30% 3R target. And then the challenge is that many waste banks do not open regularly. So usually if we talk about banks, it should be regularly open. But in the reality, the waste bank do not open regularly for many reasons. So in this case, they need the improvement of the management. And in the local level, where we conduct the research, the participation rate of the community to reduce the waste through waste bank is low for each village, which has been chosen for the research, not more than just a moment, only 6.1% and 11.2%. So this percentage should be improved, should be increased, because currently there are 3 existing waste banks, but still the percentage is very low. So at the end, we want to make a model how to increase the community participation, because it is an important aspect for waste reduction through waste bank in this case. I mean, in Indonesian case, like I said, that the government cannot support 100% waste handling. So the government still need support from waste sectoral, informal sector, including the waste bank. The problem from the research, the first is that the low participation rate in waste reduction. Although 3 waste banks are available within radius of 1 kilometer, so we use the radius because it is a walking distance, so people can bring the waste easily to the waste bank. And the second is that there are potential of recycled material from domestic, because we know that the waste type which is produced in the household, although the percentage of the organic waste is quite high, 60%, but still there are the rest is recyclable material like plastic, metals, and then paper that can be recycled by bringing that to the waste bank, and then they will the household can get income by selling the recyclable material. And the question for the research is, why is the participation of the villager or the community to reduce waste through waste bank is still low? That's the reason that we want to know what kind of factor that can influence the motivation of the community to reduce the waste. And then the end, we would like to find out the factors influencing the community participation rate in waste reduction through waste bank. So these are the variables that we use for the research. Totally, there are 22 variables, which will be put in the logistic regression analysis. But before, we identify also the characteristic of household, because the data is required to be put in the analysis. This is the area of the study. We see that this is the first village, and this is the second village, which is located in the same district. We chose this village because for the district, the waste bank are located in this village. So the first village, there is 1 waste bank, and the second village, there are 2 waste bank. The number of the household for this village is 2,460, and we use 773 samples. And for the second village, the number of household is 2,840, and we use 199 samples for data collection. And the result I can show. First, I want to explain about the mechanism of waste bank, because maybe for some people it is quite strange, this scheme. So this is the household resident which sort the waste, separate the waste, including the type, and then they have to clean the waste, because the waste bank will not accept the waste if the waste is not in a clean condition. And then they have to store, because it is not daily pick up, so they have to store, and then they will deliver to the community chief house. So for example, in one community there are 7 people or seven households who is the member of the waste bank. They have to collect and bring to the community chief, because the pick up service for the waste bank cannot pick up the waste for its resident or for its household, because it takes time and it's not efficient. So they have to collect all the sorted waste to the community chief house, and there they have to waste once again and then storing, because the pick up service is only once, or sometimes 2 times in weeks or 2 weeks. So it depending on the minimum weight. Yeah, and then after the waste bring to the waste bank, the officer will record the weight and then convert to the amount of money, because each waste type has a certain price, and then they will record it to the deposit book for each member. The member can be individual or group. So at the end of the month, every single person or group which have the bank account can get the information how much income they will get by bringing the waste to the waste bank. And this is the situation where we have research in the village. Yeah, you see that the people, the household, separate the waste. Yeah, and then they bring to the community home, and they waste once again, to check whether the weighting is correct or not, and then recording. Yeah, but for the plastic bottles, they separate. Yeah, because the price is quite high. So usually, and the treatment is quite different. So the bottle has to be pressed, and then the cover has to be removed. That's the requirement from the waste bank. And this is also the other material that has been collected by the members. Yeah, and then at the end, the waste bank will deliver the pickup, yeah, to collect the waste from the community. Yeah, by being a member of the waste bank, there are benefits for the members. Yeah, because except they have a personal saving as an initial capital of the cooperative, they can also have a voluntary savings. Yeah, and then they will get also loan services from the waste bank. And usually at the end of the year, the West Bank share the benefit, the profit by giving a health insurance and also voucher to buy food like that. Yeah. So these are the characteristics of the household according to the variable that we use for the research, and we calculate also the percentage. Yeah, as we use the logistic regression analysis, so we put only two value, 1 and 0, which describe for each criteria, describe the criteria for each variable. Yeah. Totally there are 22 variables. Yeah, you see that this distance we put also in this case because according to the bar, the references, that this is also an influence factor, can be an influence factor, because if the distance between the house and the waste bank is too far, then the motivation of the people to bring the waste or to collect the waste to sell in the waste bank is also decreasing. And after run the logistic regression analysis, we have 8 determinants for the community and participation rate of waste reduction through waste bank with the significant value below 0.05. There are trash bin availability, and then the employment, knowledge about waste policies, and then the norm within the family, and then the opinion on waste issues, whether the waste is important issues or not, and then the willingness to do something with the waste issues to solve, to give a contribution for a solution, and then the responsibility to engage in waste management, and then the last is the distance. So this is the model that have been produced from the analysis. And then using this model, we go further for calculation of the probability. So we want to know if the model is applied to the community, how much percentage of the probability that the people or the community will be the member, will be involved in waste reduction through waste bank. So of course, because there are 8 possible different value, the value of the percentage of the probability ranging between 0 up to 96.52%. In this case, yeah, for example, I give you an example. If we said that there are no factors drive in the situation, so there is zero probability that the people will engage in waste reduction through waste bank. And the second case, if we put some value in certain, we put the value in certain variable, that then the probability increases, and the highest value is attained if this, sorry, it should be 1, yeah. So all the variable have value of 1. Yeah, I make a correction for this one. It should be 1. Yeah, or the factor drive in the situation. So this is the maximum probability. So 96.52% of the community will engage in waste reduction through waste bank. They will freely to be a member of the waste bank, and then active in waste reduction and bring the waste to the waste bank, and then sell the recyclable material to the waste bank. So I come to the conclusion. So the waste bank actually offers economic and environmental benefit to the community as a member. However, it required more efforts, especially in Indonesian case, because the number of the people or the percentage of the people to involve as a member of the waste bank actively is still low. Yeah, so we can see that the low participation still exists in many cases in Indonesian cities related to the waste bank. And using the logistic regulation analysis, we have found out that there are 8 variables. There are 8 factors influencing the community participation. All the factors are positively influenced except the employment. So in this case, if the people have a part-time employment, they motivate more to be a member of the waste bank, because they think that they can get more or side income by being a member of the waste bank. And then we calculate also the estimation of probability that the value actually range between 0 until the maximum value of 96.52 if all the factors is assumed available in the situation. Then we can conclude that the probability of the people of the community to engage, to involve in a waste reduction through waste bank declines along with the increase of the absence variables or the variable with the 0 value. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much. I bring back to the moderator, Ms. Mihajlov. Ms. Mihajlov, I have finished my presentation.
Dr. Mihajlov, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, thank you very much. It is very interesting to this important pillar of the waste management is the community participating, and this is a very valuable research presented by Christian. Now we are at the end of the session. I would like to tell you that it is a good visited session. We had a minimum of 24 to 27 participants. We have all papers except keynote speaker presented here. And what is interesting, we have only female presenters, but it is making the stronger position of the waste management in our session. Thank you very much. And is it something that organizers would like to close up the session with?
Yes, this is the official end of the session 5. Dr. Tabasaran is absent. So this is the end of the session.
Yes.
Yes, this is the end.
Mhm.
Yes, this is the end of the session. We finished our presentation.
Yes. We thank you, Dr. Mihajlov, and all participants for their participations. We appreciate for your attention.
And maybe next time to see in face in Istanbul.
Yes, we wish that too. We thank you again.
Thank you. Bye now. Bye. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Keep safe.